Why combine consultative selling and value-based selling? Imagine you're a chef and your goal is to create the perfect dish for a high-profile guest. You wouldn't just throw random ingredients into a pot and hope for the best, right? No, you would carefully select what goes into the dish based on what guests like, what they are allergic to, and what would make them rave about your restaurant. Well, that's exactly what you do in sales when we combine consultative selling and value-based selling. One without the other is just like serving a meal without seasoning. Sure, it might fill the plate, but it won't leave a lasting impression. Today, I'm going to show you how blending these two approaches turn your sales conversation into a Michelin star experience. Ready? Let's fire up the stove. Combining these two approaches helps you build stronger relationships. The secret ingredient is trust. Now picture this. You walk into a restaurant. Before even you sit down, the waiter slams a menu in front of you and says, the chef's special is grilled octopus. Want it? No. You haven't even looked at the menu. Maybe you don't even eat seafood. Maybe you are craving a burger. Maybe you just came in for a coffee, but the waiter didn't bother asking. That's exactly what happens when SDRs jump straight into pitching their product. You need to first understand what your prospect actually needs before serving a solution. This is where consultative selling shines. You become the trusted advisor, the expert who takes time to learn about their business challenges, industry pain points, and personal motivation. You ask what has been the biggest hurdle for your team this quarter. You could change one thing about your current process, what it would be. Only once you truly understand your prospect's needs, you introduce value-based selling, showing them exactly how your solutions solve their specific problems. Just like a great chef tailors dishes to guest taste, you tailor your pitch to what actually matters to your prospects. Combining consultative and value-based selling helps you highly personalize your outreach. The perfectly plated dish. Now let's say your waiter is smart. Instead of pushing the octopus, they ask, what kind of flavors do you enjoy? Something spicy, something light and refreshing. Now the guest feels heard. The waiter suggests a dish with those flavors and suddenly the guest is excited. That's what personalizing your sales outreach does. When you use consultative selling to gather insights and value-based selling to showcase personalized benefit, your prospect don't just feel like another lead. You have made them feel understood. Instead of sending generic email that says, hey James, we help businesses streamline operations, you can say, hey James, I saw your team is expanding. One of the biggest challenge in growth is managing processes efficiently. Our platform helps fast-growing teams cut admin time by 40% so they can focus on scaling without growing pains. Let's chat. That's the difference between serving a random dish and crafting a meal that makes the customer feel like it was made just for them. When you combine these two approaches, it helps you increase your conversion rate. Now imagine the guest takes the first bite and their eyes widen. Wow, this is amazing, they say. They don't need more convincing, they are ready to order. That's what happens when you use value-based selling effectively. When you can show the real value, measurable impact of your solution, your prospect doesn't need a drawn-out decision-making process. The value is obvious. So instead of saying our tool automates manual reporting, you say our tool has helped companies like yours cut reporting time from 10 hours a week to 2 hours. That extra 8 hours your team can spend on revenue generating tasks instead of spreadsheets. See how the number makes it real? Just like restaurant that wins over guests with the first bite, when you present clear and impactful result, your prospect don't just listen, they say, I need this. Combining consultative selling and value-based selling helps you differentiate from competitors. Let's talk about standing out. Imagine two restaurants side by side. One has a flashy sign that says best burger in town. The other one has a line of customers stretching down to the block. Which one do you trust? That's the power of reputation. And in sales, being a consultant who delivers real value sets you apart from the competitor who are just pushing features. Your competitors might be offering similar products, but if you are the one who listens, personalize, and deliver a clear value, compelling value proposition, you become the trusted expert, not just another vendor. Consultative selling position you as a guide, value-based selling seals the deal. Together they make you the restaurant prospects keep coming back to. It helps you shorten sales cycle and long-term loyalty. Have you ever been to a restaurant where the service was so great you didn't just visit once, you become a regular? You told your friends about it, you raved about the food. You kept coming back. That's what happens when you combine consultative selling and value-based selling. You're not just making one-time sale, you're building long-term relationship. When a prospect trusts you, they buy faster, and when they experience a real value you promise, they stick around. They don't just become a customer, they become a loyal advocate of your product. All right, chefs, let's recap. We have learned that consultative selling is about asking the right question and truly understanding your prospect's needs. Value-based selling is all about delivering measurable benefits that solve their problem. Together, they create a recipe for sales success that builds trust and long-term relationship, make outreach feel personal and relevant, increase conversion rate by showing clear value, differentiate you from competitors, leads to faster deal and long-term loyalty.